Unfortunately, AC has gone. So this is now being sold. This is now the office will now be administered to this is.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. All your names in the position. I do solemnly swear and the information of the matter provide as it relates to the hearing will be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Please keep a record of all my please the Bible.
Minister of office, minister placed it on oath so that they can testify. Chairman of the National Investment Commission, the chairman of the Minister of Mines given to him, other members from the Ministry of Justice.
Thank the Speaker for the opportunity. Today, we just listen to the reading of a communication. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, again I want to thank the Speaker for the opportunity for me to relay, summarize the content of our communication, the basis and trickle our move. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, you will agree with me that as our nation strives to transition from a low-income country to middle-income country, every asset in this country is full utilization, its potential to unleash a new stream of revenue generation, as well as job creation, is a no question and is an open secret that we need that. It is against this background that our attention is drawn seriously to the dormancy of a great asset that this country has, a very unique opportunity for us to be able to jumpstart and spool our economy and undertake development as so needed, not only in Nigeria, the southeast or the Republic of Liberia. It is now and disturbing, to say the least, that Puto iron ore mining within 15 years or 15 years ago today, that the asset, though is legally on a contract, on an NDA, will remain non-performing, non-responsive, and is totally laid there, and it is useless. It is useless in the sense that people in Nigeria County are suffering from jobs and looking for jobs while they have an asset that have billions of tons of iron ore and other precious mineral on the earth. It is useless because people in Nigeria County, they are suffering from infrastructure ranging from roads, hospital, and electricity. While we have a God endowed that county and that region with an asset. It is my problem to the extent that an investor will take hold, simply hold the legal right on that asset, sits in their country, some part of the globe, and care less about what Liberians are going through. It's been 15 years. It's been 15 years. 15 years the Liberian could have benefited. Roads in the southeast could have been transformed as our paying electricity. Young children could have earned master's and PhD. 15 years. This country will have moved into $1 billion in the revenue plus. 15 years. 15 years, the owner, the holder of that investment, care less about this country, care less about the people of Liberia, care less about the region, or hold hostage the asset. It is again that I always speak of. Distinguished colleague, that I'm asked today that the Ministry of Mines and Energy, that the Ministry of Justice, that the National Investment Commission inform the Liberian people. Why are we held hostage when we have these assets sitting in the bedroom? Why are we suffering when we have these assets sitting? Why are we suffering when an investor will come simply go and just say the government don't think about it? So we come today to ask them for indulgence so that we all can know what's the status of that NTA, what is the plan to revive that NTA, what is the plan to generate new revenue and create jobs in the South. I so submit. Thank you all this week for the opportunity. I so submit.
Thank you so much. With the proper presentation, I go to guests to make them go back and come back to the village for their own interaction. We start with ladies and madam. Everybody there.
Acabou mais aqui.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and distinguished honorable members of this august body, the Ministry of Mines and Energy is particularly grateful for the invitation requesting us to provide an update or a status report on the Putu Iron Ore mining project in the southeast, particularly in Nigeria. For your information, as requested, Honorable Speaker and distinguished members of the House of Representatives, we share the same concern and sentiment that were so eloquently expressed by the Honorable from Nigeria County, Honorable Sukan. Putu is an important asset for the country that is sitting, but we too are not sitting. For years, that asset has been with Putu Iron Ore Company, the Russian group. But because it is an MDA and the terms for reacquiring or taking the asset from the one who is holding it requires process the Ministry of Mines and Energy in consultations with the National Investment Commission and the Ministry of Justice have gone ahead and written as provided in the MDA requesting for a process that will lead to the country taking possession of the asset. We wrote Putu Iron Ore Mining Company and they have responded, and within 30 days the process of mediation will begin. So I'm happy that the Justice Ministry is here, represented by the Honorable Acting Minister, to confirm what we are saying. And we have copies of the communication, the exchange with Putu. On the 11th of February, they also responded to our letter because we wrote them and told them that we want to hear from them within 30 days as provided for in the MDA. So our approach is to take, but because it's an MDA and you can't just act arbitrarily, so we are using all the legal procedures provided for in the terms of the MDA. So with this information, Honorable Speaker and distinguished members of the House of Representatives, I submit.
Thank you. I think we'll invite the Investment Commission. Please take passes the witness and Honorable Police, you take place. After the presentation, I will invite the Justice Ministry. We will now open it up for our colleague interaction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is the view of the National Investment Commission as the you, as representative of the people, that is important for us to come and engage with you. Not today only, but long ago. Because you represent the people, and you should have the first voice from the people. That's why it's important that we are here. But as the Honorable Minister said, Putu is a very important asset. Putu comprises 4.5 million tons of iron ore, which another 10 million tons is also. If you were to sell DSO today into this market, which would be a possibility because it's 110 million tons, but the value is at least in excess of $4 million. So it's a very important asset. But we have an NDA with Civil Stock that owns the asset. And by the NDA, we have rules that govern the asset, how we get civil stock to relinquish that asset. In fact, civil stock has indicated to us that they want to relinquish the asset. It's a process. And so we began that process with civil stock. We're bridging them. They responded. And I'm appealing to this body here today to grant us the opportunity to conclude our meetings with civil stock and our engagement with civil stock, wherein we call for mediation, and if the mediation process goes through, we will reclaim the asset that belongs to the country. If not, we'll result in termination. So I say, thank you.
Thank you so much. We now call on the Ministry of Justice to
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished members of this Honorable House, I will introduce myself because I am not the Minister of Justice. My name is Councillor Charles D. F. Kamol II. I'm the Deputy Minister for Economic Affairs, Minister of Justice, and IT Minister. Minister Tua is out of the country, that's why I'm a proxy. Thank you. You have no idea how this thing has really embarrassed us. Are we where we're supposed to be? No. Putu is a sensitive, the issue pertaining to Putu is sensitive. Why? For your information, we are in arbitration in a similar matter with Sowe. This is not secret. And to conclude that arbitration, we need a minimum of $2 million. Therefore, because the NBA is the law that was created and enacted by you, can we sua sponte just proceed to terminate it? No. As a country, it is not the way for us to proceed. Because the concessionaire has rights conferred onto them by you, although we have determined in many instances that they are in default, which they've challenged, there are processes that must be attended. Therefore, as early as February 11, exchanges were made. In fact, in October last year, they were given notice of intent to terminate. They challenged that notice. They came back, we had exchanges. We are not just sleeping because it is dear to our hearts. We want it revived as early as like yesterday. We want it revived. If it is revived, our budget today is around 800 million. We want to do better than that. If it is revived, we will go up. So, as late as yesterday, we were having discussion on Putu. Not because of the impact. No. Not because of the impact. We've been working. We are at a level where we resolve after a notice of mediation was issued and a response was given. Like Minister Pele said earlier, Chapter 27.1 gave the process that attends to that entire Chapter 27.1 of the NDA. We've now reached the stage that we invoke our right to mediation. The respondent, the next step is that we should name a mediator within 30 days. That's the phase we are on. In addition to that, there are steps that we are also taking, honorable members of this corporate body. Because we have not concluded on those processes yesterday, the IFCC met, so I don't think we will want to divulge that at the moment, but you will be appraised in due course. We are working diligently to revive this and get it done so that revenues that are supposed to accrue to the country will be realized. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So would I recognize colleagues? Let me take Honorable Johnson William.
Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm listening to the three witnesses in their presentation. The people of River G are following this hearing. The people of Grand Judah are following this session. The people of Sinai are following this session very religiously. These are the three counties that are affected by this concession. Unfortunately, none of the three have provided reasons why Liberia cannot do what it's supposed to do consistent with law. 15 unbroken years. Deputy Speaker, District Police. 15 unbroken years. How can we be held liable? How can Liberia be held liable for a company who has defaulted for 15 unbroken years? So I think, I consider it as an oversight. They need to still provide clarity where in the law are consistent with everything else. My colleague said from Grand County, we have been following this for many years now. Where in the law that prevents Liberia from regaining the asset? And you tie up benefits for 15 unbroken years. They still tie up benefits. None of the countries can get our benefits. Their social corporate responsibility, nothing. Business social services, these three countries, social services, they're just closed up. No other company can go in for 15 unbroken years. So they need to let us know where the law says that as a people in the country, we are hostage. So that when I get back, we explain to our people that we put ourselves in something according to what the Justice Ministry has told us, according to what the Ministry of Mines and Energy has informed us, according to what the Investment Commission is telling us. I need more information, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Distinguished Commission. And at this point, I will yield. If there's anything else, I will pray your indulgence to please allow me. Thank you.
Thank you. I will recognize and follow to the next president of the Steve
Mr. President, co-president, distinguished colleagues. It is true that we don't have a segment of the Hutu here in Montserrat, but this concerns all of us as Nigerians. I sat here listening to a colleague talk about 15 unbroken years they've been denied by this company. We invite people to come and invest in our country because we want our citizens to benefit. We wanted to do well for our country. 15 years, the people of Nigeria, the people of Liberia have been denied. 15 years, no hospital, no clinic, no road, no water for 15 unbroken years. I'm embarrassed to stay here and listen to another deliberation from anyone. I think at this time, we are supposed to start looking at the clauses in that agreement to talk about immediately terminating the agreement. That's what we should be discussing at this time. If it's not within the agreement, let us write the president and ask him to use executive order. I'm not a legal practitioner, but I believe common sense can tell me that the president has the authority to do so. But it's embarrassing to know that the people of this country are being denied one minute in the company and he's traveling all over the world and the people are there waiting for him to decide when to come and when to start his function. Let us cancel this agreement. It's not help to the people of this country. For me, that is my opinion, and I want to call all of you colleagues. Let us join hands on this one. For the people of Nigeria and the country. It's too embarrassing. Mr. President, I think I can rest on this one.
I will still keep quiet.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, I'm disappointed in the Ministry of Justice. I'm disappointed in the Ministry of Mines and Energy. I'm disappointed in the line ministries and agencies responsible in giving contracts concessions to companies, hearing from the Minister of Justice, former representative, and the Minister of Mines and Energy to tell us here for 15 years that you have not found any ground to terminate this contract, that there is no breach in the contract, that there is no failure of performance in this MPA. I'm disappointed. We have the grounds legally to terminate this contract and even fine the German company, not the German but Russian company, of delaying our economic growth, denying the people of Nigeria the social corporate benefits, job creation, and even those who are employed that have not taken pay. I'm disappointed. And the Ministry of Possession, the Bureau of Possession, the Minister of Mines and Energy, Minister of Justice, they need to do better. Arrest my case.
I want to use this time to say a very big thank you to our distinguished colleagues. So time we raise this issue. Mr. Speaker, the mining company, the telephone, you get one case out of many cases. The mineral on the ground, Mr. Speaker, are God given. And these are the resources that everybody depends on to develop. For every year that passes, everyone is getting older. If it is not going to be this year, Mr. Speaker, we have always been jubilating when we hear many presidents who claim to be investors come with scam, announcing proper amount of investment to be made in this effort. But it yielded no fruit of this people. The pool mining company has one deal with the Speaker. You have similar issues with China Union. China Union said it was more than $5 billion deposit. They are not operating to do it. When they are said that many cases the country is being deprived of their benefit and their resources. When they are said that you have one
I think you have listened to the presentation from Ghana.
Mr. Speaker, these companies are deprived of appearance. Yes. This country cannot easily progress with the endless size we have today. 800 million cannot develop the country. We have the potential. We have the potential. But if we don't utilize this potential, Mr. Speaker, we cannot go nowhere. Most of these concessions were signed because as of 2005 to 2015, investors were afraid of Liberia because we get things from the war. The PRO for Liberia was dirty. So we encourage investors to come and invest in our country. But most of them came in and took the concession and used it as a means to lobby for their own personal work. Look at China Union. Look at the people market. Mr. Speaker, if we cannot take an action as a legislator, we need a national policy. A national policy guide the issue of concessions in MPA. We cannot leave on with the executive. Few presidents will always drive this thing. Mr. Speaker, I feel for me.
For the communication. Where is her? The issue about the three persons that have said to us 30 years ago is 15 years. Other than 15 years, 30 years ago, there was nothing acting on the issue of now. Now, because the Ministry of Lands and NRC and Ministry of Justice have realized that there is a need to go into the MPA and start inviting them to go to the MPA.
I think we're supposed to graduate from getting testimony and go to our guests for them to learn about the power of the Liberian people. What we are saying is actually that we already know that for 15 years, Liberia is being deprived of what the government is supposed to benefit from the good farming. So I think it's supposed to be most question for them to learn about the Liberian people so they can understand what they are here for.
Thank you. The issue here is the three institutions have just told us that in 1 month the Minister of Justice will let them know that as communicated to that issue, I would think the best way to go about it is to allow the three institutions to decide and to see of the matter and then give a copy of the communication and the problem. I will never breathe.
took your man.
So, Mama Speaker, Mama Deputy Speaker, stand here, very your seat. That matter is very important. Yeah, we have to talk
proclaiming our country in the name of investing there, they put it in their interest. They can eat our interest. So all of this agreement, I will say that we have to do it over. We have to read through it. We have to visit it so that we will be able to benefit. This country will be the poorest country in the world, and whereby it's not supposed to be like this. Because God already did it for us. God gave us minimum resources in the country for us to benefit from it, but we are not benefiting. So we're going to visit those agreements that have been made. We will go into it and we will go over as a mate. I'm sure they told the Minister of Justice or the representation here. I'm pretty sure there's a provision in that agreement that talks about breach and the consequences thereof. So we would like you to use that provision to cancel this contract. There's absolutely no way that you will have a company abandon this country literally for 50 good years, and we still trying to find a way to pacify it. They are not paying, they have not been paying royalty to this country for 50 years. Why are we keeping them, Honorable Speaker? Why are we keeping them? In fact, I would also like to bring it back to the house. We sell these concessions. All of these things that is happening is based on our inability to ensure that we do the right thing. And so, because we cause the department, I would want this house to make sure that we make come back here so we can fix it. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, Evidence Speaker, distinguished colleagues, if I cannot take a second, and listen to the presentations from our guests, followed our questions from our colleagues. I move, if I can take a second, that the issue be sent into a committee room on the lead of the Committee on Investment, Judiciary, Then investment, followed by land, mines, energy, then judiciary. To report the plenary in 2 weeks. In the same meeting, this committee and the RCC should work along with the commission. So by the time the report comes up, we have an informed decision and how to proceed.
Are you all ready to vote? Mr. Speaker, I'm in production. Mr. Secretary, I want to present the picture. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Cabinet Speaker, and fellow colleagues, I want to be on the record. Today we are here talking about another committee, talking about concessions, and young people out there, they are disciplinary after the fact that we will come here and discuss all issues for over 2 hours, and there is no solution to it. Mr. Speaker, concession review committee. The committee was headed by the very rule of the chairman of Musa Belede, and 8 months now we are having no report from this committee, and today we are referring another personal matter into committee room. Now, brothers, we have to do the issue of people that don't have proper concession we have across the country. We have process money that is doing nothing after 4 years of concession. We also have provided resources privileged by PhD, Belgium, Lima County for the past 13 years. Nothing is going on there. I want you to read out today and reconstitute the concession of review committee to report to this body instead of just member of I call it committee group. The movement. The movement.
Today we are doing a specific mission. That is human. On that note, with all due respect, I consider rejection. Thank you, Mr. President. Our Johnson will be and move on. Mr. President, Mr. Co-Presiding Police, to the movement. Mr. Movement, I will be ready to vote for you to consider the simple amendment. Considering that the guests or our witnesses just informed us that Putu have responded to their request to say that they will be getting back to the country within 30 days. And your motion carried. Mr. Presiding, Mr. Co-Presiding Police, having listened to the testimony of the witnesses in which they said people will respond within 30 days, and listening to the movement saying that the committee should report within 2 weeks, I will be ready to vote where the movement will reconsider the 2 weeks so that we can align our report or the committee report to that of the response from Putu. It means that we should extend the reporting time to 1 month. If that is accepted, I will be ready to vote. Having listened carefully to my colleague from Angeli County, because the work of the committee is not contingent upon the solution at the state issues. So we will treat them severally and extended on that road to system reject. Let me say thank you to Brother Soka for the communication and also to our guests for the explanation. I think one of the purposes of this communication was for the librarian to clearly know why the Constitution is now operating now, and whether our people's benefit will be considered in any other negotiation. That was one statement. And then the way forward is the people on the floor. So I will be ready for the curiosity of what exactly why people are operating and whether our people's accrued benefit until the social corporate responsibility will be considered in the mediation process. We hold on to this motion and year for them and for them to wait for our continuance. Yes. Your calling for the when the community report, the director will be waiting for the community report. They post right here and they provide a statement who said they can
movement to respond, please.
That issue is not a mention. They are not a part of the time. We maintain that because of the primary issue, the poor man has been here in hospital for 50 years. We want to make sure that the matter is saturated on that road are rejected.
Mr. Speaker, quote Buzari and distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, you know, in this country, we need to take the Liberia very serious. It is time for us to encourage contract money where we want to allocate at least 50 million to the Liberian people, to the Liberian mine, to organize the Liberian mining company that will hold 100% shares and people will come and buy shares in that company and operate what we share the company. Instead of us going after people who come as 419, only one concession document running the street to know the investor to find out that concession. All of these things is talking with the speaker. Our own interest is that we will promote Liberia only 100% share in their minimum at least and started on the money company.
The movement petition for Calgary rather than liberty, and then know what you will achieve for that non-tech.
Mr. Speaker, co-presiding and fellow colleagues, the movement, waiting for a larger extent, the government of the Republic of Liberia has not done well to the citizenry of Nigeria. Concession agreement NPA is a tripartite agreement of corporate social contract that has to do with the government of Liberia, the concessionaire, and the peaceful residents of that county affected as a result of that concession. The issue of revocation or termination of an NPA, like the Justice Minister said, is a process. But equally so, there are grounds in which that concession can be terminated. And I think to a larger extent, under the specific performance of a contract, that particular NPA has been dormant and there is a need for us to terminate it effectively. So, Mr. Movement, I will be ready to vote if you can accept firstly that the proponent of this communication our committee. And secondly, every proceeding as it relates to the process that the Minister of Justice has said, you know that there is a process ongoing that the legislature be represented at every aspect of that proceeding to ensure that the people of Grand Union County can have the just and desirable benefit. Thank you so much for your acceptance. Which I know you accept in good faith.
Speaker, the Minister of Civil Police, because this amendment is coming from someone with whom I work. Legal knowledge so, as a senior election.
I recognize our people for the motion for consideration. I recognize our people. So we're going to call the consideration. Can we now excuse the guests for today? The witnesses and the second man perform one time. This chapter witnesses, please. How would you like next?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, honorable ladies and gentlemen, that was a reading of a communication from your honorable colleague, Dawanti Gideon, District 6, County.
Thank you so much. For the communication read by the chief clerk, Honorable Women Treasurer, Honorable Samson Bia, External County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, co-presiding distinguished colleagues, I've been listening to the communication from the hands of Honorable Donald Liberia, District 6 in my county. I move that this communication be open for discussion and that the proponent can lead the discussion, if I can be seconded.
The motion made and been seconded. Are you all ready to vote? All those in favor say yea. Against? Abstain? The vote is carried. We now give the proponent at least 2 minutes to expatiate.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, co-presiding colleagues. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I will want to bring to your attention something that the instrument we took action on some years back. In 2020, the government of Liberia, through this ballot, passed an agreement, pre-financing agreement with the East International Construction Company. The company in that agreement is to do a 45-kilometer road from the Liberia Junction to the Rawa International Airport. I want to provide little information about that agreement. It was $101 million agreement. Like I said, a pre-financing agreement.
100 million.
100 million. 101 million. Honorable Speaker, colleagues, it will interest you to know that, firstly, after we passed on that agreement, 2 years later, the company came back, and we as a government, we gave them $20 million outside of the agreement, without the agreement being brought for ratification. This agreement, the terms and conditions in the agreement has to do with the rate, the interest rate, and what have you. The fact that we gave $20 million to them, we said that at the time, there was a need to revisit the agreement. Unfortunately for us, we could not get our police, we could not get people to agree with us. And in fact, it will interest you to know, when we signed the agreement, there was serious condemnation for the public. Of course, some of us have said no to it at the time. Still, we gave the agreement to them. If you go on the road today, police, in the agreement, there's a $7 million portion that says you need to have the design and supervision of the road. On that road today, there's no design, there's no billboard projecting the design of the road. Absolutely nothing. Today you see someone crossing some demarcation to this place, stopping people from accessing their home, and they are right to do it because there's no design that we can question them on. Another interesting part, police. There's a bridge called the John River Bridge. Some of you don't know it is the one right after Vice President Kuhn, resident along the Rawa International Airport, on the Rafi Highway. In the contract, in 2021, in addition to the $20 million I've been given the company, we gave them another $3 million. I'm saying all of these things you can reference our national budget. $3 million for the construction of that bridge. Today the bridge is still there and $3 million is gone. Another interesting thing of the contract is The road is to be done in phases. The first phase is from Route 3 to our bridge, from the bridge to Liberia Junction, and then the third one has to do with the construction of a new bridge. And besides the construction of the new bridge, they have to do a repair. But how will we monitor them? What do we know that they have to do ensuring in the agreement? And it's based on that. We don't know how much they have spent on our behalf. Because the money in question we're talking about is money that we will pay with interest. The country will pay with interest. Our taxes, the taxpayer money will be used on our way. That's why I've come to plead with you, my colleagues, that this company be brought here to explain to us in detail how much they have received, what they have done, why up to this time there's no design that we can look at to evaluate what they are doing. And in addition to that, the Ministry of Public Works, the Road Fund, the National Road Fund, also be brought in to tell us how have they followed on the agreement that was signed 3 years ago. And then, before I take my seat, this agreement, the road was to be constructed in 3 years. We've gone 5 years now. We don't know what's happening. If they defaulted, if they have challenges, they need to come and tell us if there's a need to revisit the agreement so that we can do it. That's what I've come to plead with you, my colleagues. Let's bring them here. Let them come and ask us some of the questions so that we too can go back to our people to explain to them why the road is in the condition after 3 years. Thank you.
I will follow the formula. Way forward.
Mr. Speaker, who presided, distinguished colleague, I've been listening to the distinguished colleague from Liman County, Amu Evangelina II, that the East International Construction Company CEO/manager appear in section, and that of the head of the road fund, the head of the road fund, public works, road fund, the manager and CEO of the East International appearing session, and state clearly reasons of the delay, the amount they have received as of now. They might not appear second. On the next session is Tuesday. On our next session Tuesday. Thursday. Yeah.
He has been moving second there that the CEO of that company will be to appear for section of plenary on Thursday. Thursday. Honorable colleague, are you not ready to vote? Yeah. I'm ready. Honorable Johnson William.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Presiding, distinguished colleagues, I'll be ready to vote. While the movement to consider the amendment to include the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning as part of the government institutions to appear on Thursday. I'll be ready to vote if the movement were to accept this amendment.
The movement.
Yeah. Honorable Johnson Edward Williams, a great man from River State. River G. That's what I said.
Reverend Priest. The husband was who you are, Reverend Priest Benza.
Honorable Speaker, to the movement, I'll be ready to vote if we can also add these skill documentations. In the loan agreement, it was $100 million, and they were going to go source the loan to bring it to do the work. there was a $20 million portion that we paid, making the money $120 million. So let all of those documents pertaining to this contract in a monitoring report from Public Works also be added to the coming income of it for us to review where is it today, how the money has been spent over the period. Copy of the contract, copy of the extra money that was being paid, and also Public Works monitoring documents to the status of the contract. Thank you.
To my big sister from Bon County, a well-respected woman, to my big sister and colleague, the issue of getting the contract and all other financial transactions related to the same loan investment, as well as that.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, for the movement, I'll be ready to vote considering the nature of this topic under discussion, the importance of it. I don't want us to invite people in pieces. I'll be ready to vote for you to include inviting the entire senior management team of East International, not just the CEO, and the PPCC. Let us include PPCC because we want to know what a PPCC is or what of that contract. If they all pass through their offices to know the object of it. So I'll be ready to vote.
The readiness from my brother, my good friend, the manager, the fact that he's requesting for PPCC and that of all of the senior management team to appear himself as well as himself.
Honorable Secretary, readiness. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, colleagues, to the movement, I'll be ready to vote if you accept this simple amendment, realizing that there's communication on the floor for Thursday. I will be ready if the movement will accept this simple amendment that instead of Thursday, Tuesday of next week, if you accept that.
For the sake of wisdom, for the sake of wisdom, we should accept on Tuesday.
The audience, are you ready to vote? Are you ready to Amaju?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker of Police, to the movement, I will be ready to vote for you to consider this simple amendment. Considering that the witnesses will be invited to appear on Tuesday and there are some documents required or requested, that those documents be submitted on Friday to give us ample time to review. The documents be submitted on Friday to give us the ample time to question the guests on Tuesday.
The movement.
From my good friend, and the distinguished colleague as well as
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before stating my readiness, I would want to state for the record that the law provides that all government contracts depending on the threshold are signed by 5 parties. The Ministry of the Totally Road Construction Contracts, you got the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Public Works, you got the contractor, and also PPCC plays a major role. So I will be ready to vote if we can. The letter be carried that all of these parties who are signatories to the contract be required to appear. Those are just the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Public Works,
a Minister of Justice, a contractor, the senior management team of the contractor, and also PPCC. The report. So, except that.
Good morning, amendment made. Are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yea. Against, abstain. The vote is carried. Robert Chief Secretary accordingly. Next.
Continues to cast doubt over the operation, credibility, and reputation of the House of Representatives. The need to establish the RAD is cardinal for transparency and accountability at the House of Representatives. Honorable Speaker of the Police, the RAD should be established to perform the following roles. 1. Establish a financial system. 2. Review processes and procedures. 3. Examine financial records. 4. Ensure compliance with applicable laws and regulations. 5. 6. Assess, evaluate, raise and develop recommendations to improve risk management. 7. Advise leadership. 8. Promote ethics. 9. Safeguard assets. 10. Enhance efficiency. And 11. Investigate fraud. I beg the Judge Disciplinary to establish the IAD as it will be in line with confirming the best practice, and it will help restore the dignity, prestige, pride, and right of the House of Representatives. Sincerely yours, Honorable P. Marjorie, Representative of the Transportation, Long-Willing County, Chairman of the Committee on Ways and Finance and Development Planning. Mr. Deputy Speaker, honorable ladies and gentlemen, I also read you the communication from your honorable colleague calling on this body to have a Department of General Audit for the House of Representatives.
Honorable colleague, the communication with the communication submitted by colleagues from Liberia County, what is the way of measure? And we'll keep it.
Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, with the reading of the communication from the distinguished Honorable District Number 1, Liberia County, Honorable P. Marjorie, seeking the establishment of an internal audit department within the House of Representatives or the National Legislature, I move that if I can obtain a second, that this communication be open for a brief conversation. If I can obtain a second.
With the motion covered by Honorable Giga, are you all ready to vote? All ready to smoke? Smoke all right. The motion covered, are you all ready to vote? All those in favor say yea. Against, abstain. The vote is carried. To the movement, to the proponent, please expatiate or elucidate in the last exercise for the next 2 minutes. Okay, now the problem I want to get to refer to elasticize.
Our Speaker, our Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues, although the Speaker has asked me to point away the discussion, but kindly permit me to exercise a little bit. Our Speaker, this House, the House of Representatives, has been in the public, and there are issues about transparency against this House. There are issues about credibility in this House. There are issues about accountability in this House. I want to speak up the ability to reflect a little bit that I can recall that one of your speeches, you said, quote, no business as usual, unquote. Having said that, Honourable Speaker, you promised reforms, and I think it is now about time for us to start those reforms. Sitting as the chairman of Ways, Means and Finance, I find it very prudent to suggest to plenary that there is a need to establish the internal audit department of the House of Representatives. And the reason is clear, Honourable Speaker. We need system. We need a financial system that the courts can abide by. We need to establish procedures and processes that are lacking today in the House of Representatives. Honourable Speaker, there is a need to establish the IAD, the Internal Audit Department, so that this department start working out the procedures and we start following these procedures so that we become more accountable and transparent to the public and to the Nigerian people. This committee will also have the opportunity to advise leadership to enhance our effectiveness and also to take over how we manage our assets. Honourable Speaker, there is no other time for the police that during your speakership, in this infancy of the speakership, it is good for us to establish the internal audit department so that the promises of reforms we made to the public we can start adhering to them. I'd like to pause. Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Deputy Speaker, let me take this time, distinguished colleagues, let me take this time to commend the Chairman of Ways, Means and Finance for this communication. As it is similarly to the spirit and the intent of this communication, I have no question that the House of Representatives need to be able to I have no question about the need for the House of Representatives to be able to design and make sure that internal controls, internal control in financial management are key. They are a substratum to everything we do when it comes to accountability and reporting. What I try to understand and I need further clarity on is the resultant of trying to create a new department. A new department will be the House of Legislature or Representative, particularly the cost-benefit analysis. Whereas we do have, if my memory is serving right, that within the House of Representatives we have the central administration that relates with the civil service agency of the Republic of Liberia. If that is true, and and undisputed. Then, of course, in the executive for the nationwide control system and monitoring, I think we also do have internal audit agency. So, internal audit agency, as far as we know in the Republic, do have person, units, offices, established, sitting in each other institution in the Republic of Liberia, and that's the main reason why this honorable body legislated them. So if we are keen about strengthening our controls, if we are keen that we need financial transparency and accountability, and that internal control is there right, I think we do not need to replicate or duplicate the function. How do I look forward to some clarity on the recent executive combination? But it's welcoming for us to think about controls, stringent controls.
Before coming on to the current IE, the charter of the IE is declaring that every institution has their own internal audit section. What the IE does is to support the director and an assistant director that serve oversight in terms of internal audit to provide internal audit services in conjunction or in consultation with the established internal audit department within the institution. So I'm coming up with that information to inform our body that the information is different and structuring an internal audit department within the House of Representatives is a very good idea. Our counterpart, the Senate, has an internal audit department and the Senate that is established and full of functions. So establishing one within this House of Representatives was a very good one and it will prevent the issues. Why am I on
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'd like to say thank you to the President of the Communication. But I would like to confuse and I would like to get clarity from you. So, my conclusion is this. The RAA has a legal mandate and I'd like to read. According to section 2.2 of the RAA Act, the mandate of the RAA is to do the following: establish and direct internal audit functions within all branches of government, including the executive, legislative, and judiciary. That includes our body and all public sectors and entities such as public operations, autonomous agencies, autonomous commissions, government ministries, and Central Bank of Liberia. I want a better understanding to know if this is not going to contradict the function of the RAA. Are we going to invite? What about we invite the RAA? That's a very time. That's a very time. Okay.
Communication. Our aim will come in to work along with your established internal audit institution. The decision by the purpose of this communication is to give up an opportunity, the belief of the people that we as lawmakers don't want internal audit institution, and we have to give an accountability and help to improve the image of the HOR. I just want to say the essence of the RAA is an
Mr. Presiding, Mr. Co-Presiding Police, let me extend my thanks to the proponent of this communication.
Honorable, can we be attentive and listening to the way forward that has been offered by the right gentleman from Makibika.
I want to join speakers before me to say thanks to Pima Jure, the proponent of this communication. Mr. Presiding, has been lamented by my colleagues that there is a need for us to have an internal audit department at the House of Representatives for process, accountability, transparency, and integrity. Having said those, I move, if I may obtain a second, that this body resolve into a committee of whole and vote to pass the department on internal audit at the House of Representatives. If I may obtain a second.
And I've been moving seconded to establish the Department of General Audit. Are you all ready to vote? All those already small ball now.
Mr. Presiding, Co-Presiding, distinguished colleagues, for the sake of transparency, and legislative water shading, which is against the ethic and norm of the House, because we are not investigators, we are the craft of the project. Mr. Movement, I will be ready to vote if you were to change the phrase internal audit department to an anti-graft entity, GSC or the RAA. I will be ready to vote.
To the movement.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding, Mr. Co-Presiding, colleagues.
Will be amendment made to the motion. Are you all ready to vote? Already, Honorable James Colette.
To the movement, Honorable Speaker, Deputy, distinguished colleagues, I will be ready to vote if the movement can accept my amendment that any motion to the contrary should be tested after the vote. The motion of reconsideration, any motion of reconsideration should be tested.
To the experienced gentleman from one country as well.
With that amendment, are we ready to vote? How do those in favor say yea? Against? Abstain? The vote is carried. I want you to be at the calling meeting. Next.
a Liberian citizen by Michael Shio, a Chinese national, on January 30, 2025, in the compound of Michael Shio, in Concord Town. Mr. Speaker, Article 21D of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia states, no person charged, arrested, restricted, detained, or otherwise held in confinement shall be subject to torture or inhumane treatment, nor shall any person, except military personnel, be kept or confined in any military facility, nor shall any person be seized and kept among convicted prisoners or treated as a convict unless such person first shall have been convicted for a crime in a court of competent jurisdiction. The legislature shall make it a criminal offense and provide for appropriate penalties against any police or security officer, prosecutor, administrator, or any other public official acting in contravention of this provision. And any person so damaged by the conduct of any of such public official shall have a civil remedy thereof, exclusive of any criminal penalties imposed. With the above mentioned, I pray the indulgence of plenary of the House of Representatives to invite the named officials to update the Honorable House of Representatives on the alleged torture and attempted murder of Mabo David by Michael Shio. Thanks for the usual cooperation. Truly, Albert K. Jones, Representative Electoral District 2, Miami County. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, Honorable ladies and gentlemen, that was a reading of the communication from your Honorable colleague, Albert K. Jones of District 2, Miami County.
Distinguished colleagues, to listen to the reading of the communication has been read.
Honorable Richard Naweku, Speaker, House of Representatives, Cabinet Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Reference: request to invite the Justice Minister, Police IG, to provide status report on the widespread killing in Luba County. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and members of the 55th Legislature, I am deeply constrained to bring to the attention of this august body a grievous situation unfolding in Luba County in recent times. For the past 3 months, there have been repeated reports of arbitrary killings of innocent citizens in the county, attributing same to alleged ritualist acts, especially in District 4, Luba County, which have led to the destruction of police properties. Distinguished colleagues, because of these inhumane acts, our citizens are living in total fear day and night and cannot go about their normal activities. These actions have grossly affected the entire citizens, thereby undermining the growth and development of the county and also rendering our national security credibility questionable. Fellow colleagues, it can be recalled that in January of this year, Madam Mayanga Kaliko, a lady from Doguman town, was allegedly murdered by men who were returning from a vegetable garden. The late Mayanga was chopped with cutlasses multiple times, thus leading to her murder. Mr. Mosiman Yakawolo, age 18, a murdered suspect and a close relative of the late Mayanga, was jailed in Salaga prison compound. In Salaga prison compound, in Virginia, along with other prime murder suspects. And he, Massima, was later transferred to state security from Salaga prison to the police barrack for security reasons. According to state security, Sunday, early morning of January 7, 2025, Massima was found allegedly feet on the floor in police cell in the barrack. On January 25, 2025, later Sia John, an 8-year-old school-going girl, was discovered dead in an unfinished building in Kitoma Hill community with body parts abstracted. Sometimes by in June 2024, little Mary Howell was found on a dump site dead. Since then, no official report has been given to the public. Honorable Speaker and fellow colleagues of the 55th legislature, considering the grave nature of these matters, I recommend the indulgence of this honorable body to invite the Minister of Justice and the Police RG to appear before plenary on Thursday, February 2025 to address the rampant killings in Lofa County and to provide this August body the status report on the ongoing police investigation relative to the matter of the matter. I remain hopeful that this legislature will act accordingly to ensure that the joint security provides the status and conveys the information for consumption by the Liberian public in these matters. Respectfully submitted, Honorable Augustine B. Chibono, Representative Electoral District 5 from Lofa County, co-chair of this committee on agriculture. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Presiding Officer, honorable ladies and gentlemen, that was the reading of the communication from Honorable Chibono of District 5 of Lofa County.
Distinguished colleagues, we listen to the reading of two communications received without contact from our colleagues from Harvard Journal and Children of Lofa County, respectively. What is your great pleasure? Honorable Kisi Collins.
Honorable President, my distinguished colleagues, having listened to the reading of my two distinguished colleagues from my keeping in Lofa County, inviting the Minister of Justice, the Immigration Chief, the Inspector General of Police, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I move if I can obtain a second that the communication from our colleagues be open for discussion, beginning with Honorable Alpha Kokoju, subsequently Honorable Augustine B. Chibono.
The chair will request the proponents of the communication to approach the chair, please, the president. The both Hold on, Mr. Movement. I'm asking Augustin Chewell. Please approach the chair. So we refer to, please restate that motion.
The Honorable Speaker, Honorable Presiding, distinguished colleagues, having listened to the communication from my colleague Alpha Coco Jones and Honorable Augustin B. Chewell, both of Margini and Lofa County, I, GZK Collins, representing the people of the Electoral District of 4 Lofa County, move if I can obtain a second that the communication be open for discussion, beginning with Honorable Alpha Coco Jones and Honorable Augustin B. Chewell.
If the motion be seconded by Mr. Afam, distinguished colleagues, are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yea. Against? Motion is carried. We allow the people names to speak. We begin with Margini, Alphonse Jones, and then Augustin Chewell. 2 minutes each. And then proceed.
Deputy Speaker, Honorable Thomas Fala, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues, let me use this time to remind us about provisions within the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution says all power is inherent in the people. Individuals of this country made out of the people or made the people. If you read Article 6 of the Liberian Constitution, it also states the value that is attached to individual citizens, comparing the government to making education a priority. To the issue, Mr. Presiding, co-presiding colleagues, Article 21D of our Constitution prohibits the torture of any citizens within the borders of the Republic of Liberia. In recent time, we saw on the Facebook where a Liberian citizen by the name of Lobo Davis was tortured. I don't want to use the word alleged because it is evidence. He was tortured by a Chinese national. Mr. Presiding, Mr. Co-Presiding colleagues, what baffles me in the torture is the Chinese national made the oil, had and wasted it on Momo terrace. He did not end there. He lighted plastic and allowed a burning plastic to fall on Momo terrace. He went beyond and authorized a dog to wipe Momo terrace. Mr. President, if you went further to read Article 21D of the Liberian Constitution, we state the legislature shall make a criminal offense. This action, it is for the first time in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia that the Constitution is giving the legislature that authority to charge an individual or to condemn an action. I want to call on my colleagues to join me to invite the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, because the person who committed this crime is a foreigner, and also invite the Director General or the IG of the Liberia National Police who initiated the investigation in this matter, and also invite the Commissioner of the Liberia Immigration Service. Mr. President, if we are not acted, it is the best time for us to act. On this note, I want to use this occasion.
Thank you.
I want to use this occasion again, if we were to exercise our authority as stated in Article 21D, I will be calling for a deportation of the Cote d'Ivoire. That is left with the primary to decide. So
thank you, Honorable Chairman.
Thank you all so much. Honorable Deputy Speaker, co-presiding, my distinguished colleagues, I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you listen to the reading, Lufa Kante is currently here with the numerous deaths that have taken place by some people. What has caused me to write this communication is the delay of funding for the Joint Security to tell us exactly those perpetrators their status. As we speak to you, 4 deaths have taken place in the district of District 4. More especially, one of the alleged murderer that was placed behind bar and was transferred to another prison center was found hanged in that police cell. I feel that the delay of the investigation will cause panic among our children and our people, and therefore may lead to another war rival that will bring about destruction of property. Therefore, my fellow colleagues, I'm asking your indulgence that the security apparatus, the Joint Security apparatus, which is the police IG and the Justice Minister, to appear before us here so that our people can hear from them what is the status of these cases that have been roaming in local country for the past 4 months. Thank you all so much for giving me this opportunity.
Distinguished colleagues, listen to the deliberations from our 2 distinguished colleagues who will now invite to the movement to restate and then we'll make a decision. At least our colleagues have. Honorable President, motion requesting them to appear.
We are in agreement. The first motion
to have it open, so we will refer to you now to have those agencies here as to appear or send it to committee and have a decision.
Honorable President, having listened to my 2 distinguished colleagues, I give you a local county. I move if I can the Minister of Justice, the Director of the Liberia National Police, the Director of the Immigration Services, the Minister of Foreign Affairs be made to appear on national to explain to this body details regarding the communication from our colleagues. If I can take a second.
With the motion being seconded, distinguished ministers, are you ready to vote? All those in favor say yeah. Against? Motion is carried. And chief clerk, please stand accordingly. Next.
Illegal mining and ensuring that the rights and the interests of the communities are served legal actions. Their specialized knowledge and insight will be instrumental in devising effective strategies to combat these illicit mining practices, and to protect the region's natural resources. By facilitating this dialogue, we can collectively strive towards a more sustainable mining framework that prioritizes environmental integrity and the welfare of the local community. It is of the utmost urgency that we address these pressing issues comprehensively to avoid future ecological damage and propose responsible resource management in district-free communities. Finally, I request the Ministry of Lands, Mines and Energy and Environmental Protection Agency to come prepared to address the mining licenses and practices of the below companies and the class quote-unquote C alluvial miners. 1. Zero Mining Incorporated. 2. Tito Mineral Liberia Limited. 3. Little Mining Company Limited. 4. Hummingbird Resources Incorporated. 5. Jupiter Mining Company. 6. Geelong Mining Resources Liberia Technology Incorporated. 7. Watson Group Limited. 8. D Mining Company. 9. Dope Mining Company. Thank you for considering this communication. Sincerely, Honorable Austin B. Taylor Senior, Representative in the District 3, Liberia County. Mr. Presiding Officer, Honorable ladies and gentlemen, I also reading the communication of the Honorable Police Austin B. Taylor of District 3, Liberia County.
Distinguished colleagues, are listening to the reading of the communication. Austin Taylor, what is your real pleasure? Samson Wechuye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Honorable President, distinguished colleagues, having listened to a communication from one of the best sons of Maryland County, District number 3, Honorable Austin B. Taylor, I move that the proponent of this communication give us the succinct intro of that communication, and that said communication subsequently be endorsed by plenary, ensuring that the ministers in question appear if I can settle them.
Did I hear a second? The motion be seconded. Distinguished colleagues, are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion has been made, say yea. Against. Motion is carried. Austin Taylor, please.
Honorable Presiding, Honorable Co-Presiding, distinguished colleagues, my communication just read was self-explanatory, and it is clear that the mining activities across this country is just similar, and the fact that there are very little or no check on these companies affects the community at large. We have in my district a group of different sets of Chinese who you don't know where they've come from. They do not have offices. They don't have a location where you find them. They are in the bushes, mining, and they are called mining companies. The entire water bodies across the district are polluted. They turn red and muddy. The fishing practices for our people are no longer happening. Our people are not able to use the flowing water that they used to use for washing and other activities. These things don't happen any longer, Honorable Presiding. And these companies, so-called companies, are in the district, claiming to be mining companies. Nobody knows where they're from, what they are extracting in fact. If they are extracting gold, how much gold they are extracting, where they taking it to, whether they pay taxes, whether they are registered, whether they have licenses. These are information that we do not have. And I'll crave the indulgence of plenary and the Honorable Presiding that the Minister of Lands, Mines and Energy and the Environmental Protection Agency Executive Director come before this plenary to make clarity on where these people are from and whether they have the requisite mining licenses and the necessary environmental permits to mine as they are doing. So in this light, Honorable Presiding, I submit and crave the indulgence of plenary to side with my request that the Minister of Lands and Mines be made to appear here on next week, Thursday, considering the bulkiness of the agenda for next week, Tuesday. That they be made to appear on next week, Thursday, to give clarity on the mining activities of these companies and whether they have licenses, where they come from, what practices and what sort of kind of mining they are doing, and whether they are paying taxes to government. I so submit.
With the submission from the proponent of the communication, distinguished colleagues, can we entertain a motion to have them invited or send this communication immediately? Okay, Reverend Ernest Marcia.
The motion performed by me was only asking the proponent to give a succinct intro of his communication while plenary endorses the coming of the ministers next Tuesday.
Asking each of the distinguished colleagues, are you ready to vote? Please state your readiness for the
Honorable Presiding, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues, I will be ready to vote if the communication that will come from the office of the chief will clearly state the names of those companies so that when the appropriate ministers are coming, they will know what sort of document will be, because we will just say these companies are operating, and then we write to the ministers. Yeah, so we need to name our communication team to name those companies and ask for the kind of document.
Now that you have the floor, can you recommend or suggest those instruments that should accompany it?
So if the names of those companies are spelled out, those documents that we expected to bring will include their permits, their mining licenses, especially their environmental permit. Before you start the mining activity, you must have received a permit for the EPA. So these permits plus their mining licenses are the ones that we
Yes, I respectfully accept.
Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, with the acceptance of the amendments, are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion say yea. Against? Motion passed. Madam Chief Clerk, please act accordingly. Next.
The Honorable Speaker, distinguished read a number of absentees of members of the House of Representatives who have not been in session without excuses for more than 4 session days. My request is not on the fact that many of our colleagues have not shown up for a considerable time and therefore have been depriving their respective constituencies of the necessary representation. Moreover, the absences defy the House's standing rule on specific references, Rule 20.1 and 20.2. I therefore entreat this August body to ensure that the necessary due diligence is done to safeguard the constituencies they represent. Very sincerely, James Nicolay, representing Electoral District 2 from Washington. Mr. Presiding Officer, honorable ladies and gentlemen, that was a reading of the communication from the honorable colleague, James Nicolay of District 2 from Washington.
Distinguished colleagues, we listen to the reading of the communication from our colleague on the left. What is your great pleasure of our August meeting?
Honorable Cabinet Speaker, presiding and co-presiding and fellow colleagues, after carefully listening to the reading of the communication from our distinguished colleague from Brown County, I move that Galatina second, that said request be granted. The honorable members give attention as we listen to the reading of the names of those who have been asking for session for the past day.
Can I get the communication to be received and open for discussion? Yes. All those in favor say yeah. Against? Honorable Glenn. Okay. Colleagues, please pay attention to this serious, please. Honorable Abbas Jones, Honorable Prince Cole, Honorable Defense Minister Johnson, Honorable Bishop Defense Minister, Honorable Prince Quena, Honorable Pimas Trey, we need your attention, please. Serious communication on the floor and we need your attention, please.
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
Stefan Bono, PRS.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable members of the House of Representatives, for the second session of the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia on the onset, there are some members that have not been coming more than 4 session days, and they are Honorable Councilor Francis Kofa, 8 days absent. Honorable Charles Elway, 8 days absent.
Excuse me, you said 8 session days?
8 session days absent. 8 session days absent. Honorable Musa Asambelete, 6 session days absent, 2 days present. Honorable Roland Obi Cooper, 2 days present, 6 days absent. Honorable Luther S. Collins, 3 days present, 5 days absent. That ends the meeting. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, you have listened to the report for the Deputy Chief Clerk. We will now refer to the purpose of this communication. And this is what the flow for.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Co-Presiding, distinguished colleagues. I thought it wise to bring this to the attention of plenary, having observed over the period that many of our colleagues have now been showing up to section, which is a constitutional responsibility or duty imposed on us as the people's deputies. As we can recall, before the close of the first section of the 55th, many of our colleagues were not coming to section and without a written excuse, which is a complete violation of the House's Standing Rules, Rule 20 to be specific. And if you look at Rule 20, go further down to Rule 48. Rule 48 spells out that there can be punishment or disciplinary measures against members who are not in standing or who does not comply with the House's Standing Rules. Honorable Deputy Presiding, Co-Presiding, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, moving to the close of the first section of the 55th, coming to the seventh sitting of the 55th, we have observed that many of our colleagues are still not coming to work. To be specific, to section. And it will interest you to note that those police who are not coming to work are still taking their benefit. Then I go by asking myself, you were elected to work for the people. Why take the people money when you're not justifying it through your work? So I think it is important for this plenary to be aware in order for a decisive actions to be taken. To further inform our policy, Rule 21 talked about special sections for absenteeism. No House member shall stay away from section without express approval of the House for a period of more than 2 weeks. For a period less than 2 weeks, there must be a written communication as an excuse. What is more interesting to me here is this. Those police of ours whose names were read by the enrolling clerk, they are not only staying away from doing the people's work, but they have not been able to communicate with this house of the reasons of staying away. And if this house is not communicated to settle all reasons why they are staying away, as a committee of rules orders in administration who have a statutory responsibility in ensuring to regulate this members' body, we think it will be unjust to the Liberian people that these people will still continue to take the people taxpayer money in the name of salary, gasoline, and the rest of the benefits when they are not still coming to work. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Presiding, Co-Presiding, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, let me inform this members' body that it is important that these things be fleshed out. It is important that this plenary act, particularly when we quote-unquote refer to ourselves as the rule of law. Where is this rule of law when we are in complete contradiction of our own House's Standing Rules? So I stop this far, curbing the indulgence of this plenary to take the appropriate measures that will ensure that everyone who receives a down from the Liberian people in the name of salary and benefit receive it justifiable to be able to work for it or to be able to account for it, rather sitting home, taking Liberian people money, you are not coming to work, but still concern yourself as a lawmaker. Gone are the days when we felt that we were above all else. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before we take it way forward, colleague, I will not follow. It is copy. So we're interrupting at least 3 comments before we get the way forward. Okay, Minister, please. Is there any opposing view or dissenting opinion on this? Okay.
Our Deputy Speaker, presiding, and then co-presiding my distinguished colleagues. Let me first of all say thank you to my Bonkati colleague Emperor for this brilliant communication. The communication is good. It's important that we come into the Liberian people's business because because the movement will stay is trying to improve our work. But again, looking at the rules that govern this house, it's important that, because even for example, the Supreme Court ruling, there's a rule that says you must have for 2 weeks. If you spend more than 2 weeks per session, you must ask for excuse. But in that rules again, there is no punishment mechanism or method established in that rule.
No member should stay away from section for more than 2 weeks. It follows this in rule 48 that disciplinary measures should be taken allowed by the chief. So if I finish my discussion without watching, go ahead. It is clear disciplinary measure can be taken allowed by verbal, written, suspension, or expulsion, so that they be so if you will come back to the same thing. Everybody reading this.
You have to throw a piece of information. Okay, you have your turn.
So thank you again. I'm not saying, but I just said it's not clear the measure to be taken. There's a need for a rules, or we look at a rule in a top of disciplinary measures that will be taken. That's why I'm thinking that measure to start that.
To your point, are you saying the office rule is not clear?
On the punishment is strong.
Please read the problem. Please read
the punishment. Yeah, what is it?
What it says about punishment?
We have two rules here, 21 and 48. 21 and 21. They say the house member shall stay away no house member shall stay away from section without the express approval of the house for a period of more than 2 weeks. For a period less than 2 weeks, permission shall be sought from the house. Violators shall be penalized in a manner deemed appropriate by the leadership of the house in consultation with plenary. That is 28. 48.
Oh, the word penalized is determined by this plenary in the figure of the rules. To you or colleague, the word penalized on code.
Then 48.1 says the house shall take disciplinary measures against any member who violates or fails to comply with the house ethics and procedure specified in this rule.
Thank you. I think it's so simple. So
there is no clear instruction. Anything done with plenary, anything according to the agreement. That's one point. Thank you.
The rule is clear. The rule speaks about punishment or action. That action should be determined by this body. Information of the woman. Of the minister you done, please. I will slow I will ask you to hire Trump, please. I will
distinguished guests. I would like to take us back to our room.
Please.
I would love to take us back to our room.
Please pay attention, please. Go ahead,
I would love to take us back to our room for the one as it is in. Under our rule called for 2 weeks consecutive period. extensive analysis there by the clerk, right? To tell us whether, because I heard you say 5 days absent and 3 days present. So it's possible that the person came first, second day absent, and another day present, so it's not in line. So I think we should go by the rule as Colette said. Thank you.
Papa Mama, without information, I think we listen to the Deputy Chief Clerk. There was space read. Some of the colleagues are in category. For example, on the Phonetical file, we wanted to reread, he said 8 days until the presiding asked that question. He said 8 working days, he said yes, session days. So we're referring to you at Deputy Clerk. Please read, please read. You want to sorry. That's what you want to please go to you know that. 5 minutes. I was so much listen together.
Honorable Councillor Fanatic Kofa, absence for 8 days.
It is session days.
It's 8 session days.
So what was 13 days session days? You said 2 weeks?
4 weeks. 2 weeks.
No, 8 session days. It's 2 weeks.
4 weeks.
It's 2 weeks, right? So 8 session days. Please, the man. What do you want to do?
2 days in my week for the general committee. Yeah, so full 8 days is about 1 month.
Yes. 2 weeks. Okay, what do you say?
Come back to the rule. The rule is saying that for 2 weeks, anything that is
it's okay, 2 weeks. It's there. Papa Mama, I hope you found it.
The English day, I don't have the language.
What the language says?
The English day, what he says is that when you miss session, right? When you miss 2 weeks.
Yes.
So 2 weeks is referring to a session.
With all break.
Yes, that's session.
So they are telling you that one of your colleagues have missed session is succession 8 session days.
Yeah, one of the police. But what I'm saying, you have other police, you have 5 days or not 3 days.
No, you don't point. That's not the 8. That's not the plan. Please, with devil no, because they are in category. No, it's not about dialogue. Ernest, you have just wait, hold on, please. There are categories here. We still have 5 of our colleagues. First, you have 8 session day. One of our colleagues fall within that 8 session day. So now we go to 5 session days. You have 3 session days. So let's allow you to read it. Yes. Because this information will inform us properly. Please. 5 session days.
5 session days.
The rule says 4, which is 2 weeks.
The rule says 4, which is 2 weeks.
Yes.
Absence for 5 session days.
Exceed the 2 weeks.
Exceed the 2 weeks.
Yes. Who in that category?
Honorable Mutualist College.
5 session, yes.
Honorable Murana Gopi for
5 session.
6 session days.
6. They have exceeded 4.
They exceeded 4. Honorable Musa Assemblity.
Yes.
6 days. 6 session days. Exceeded 4. Honorable Tazre Wowi. 8 session days. It's about 1 month.
So when you are listening to the story, back to your minutes. Excuse you.
My question is to the black.
Yes.
My question has to do with those who have missed session 5 or 6. Is it consecutive or there was a break-in. Because to me, the intent of Rule 1 is speaking to consecutive 2 weeks. Sorry, you will do that. Thank you. It's consecutive. Ask a question. Good question. Please hold on. Listen to the response. Go ahead. Consecutive. Good. Way forward. Information to time. Before they go forward, let's get our information.
I'm coming in on the point of information, Mr. Speaker, presiding police. Our rule provides under Rule 48.7 because we were actually concerned about the measure as it relates to what decision or punitive action that plenary can take. And Rule 48.7 says declared. If you want me to read verbatim, it says the House may according to the circumstances and degree of breach take the following measures. Number 1, it may give an oral warning. B, it may give a written warning. C, it may suspend the members for not more than 30 days of meeting and start the payment of salary and allowance due to him for the days of suspension and the case may be. They say they may expel a member from the house where the breach is very serious and where it is committed repeatedly. So these are the conditions that there is action from the president that bring in that. Just for the 8.7.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, co-presiding police. Police, let me say thanks to James for this communication. You said it and you said it all. You said it and you said it all. While standing on my feet, I moved, having reference Rule 21 of the rules of this House. I moved that those who were named to have been absent for more than 2 weeks, that includes from 5 days of section and above, for 5 days in the above, I move that the chief clerk be mandated to write our police, informing them of Rule 21 of the rules of their house, that they are consistently made section days, that they are failure to appear on Thursday, the lead days vary with no other opportunity for to invoke Rule 48.7 of the rules of the House of Representatives. If I may obtain a second.
With the motion being accepted by the distinguished colleagues, are you ready to vote?
All right.
Honorable Soka, please take your readiness. Honorable Smallwater, Honorable Yafo, in our order.
Honorable Speaker, co-presiding, Deputy Speaker, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues. So my distinguished gentlemen from I will be ready to vote if you can kindly make a simple amendment. It is noted that colleagues who were informed, who were suspended and informed, indulge into disrespect to our rules and to plenary decision. They continue to come on the premises of the building where they were informed not to, duly informed. I think this is not only a disrespect to the rule but to us. And being that this body is governed by its rules, I moved if you can accept, or I recommend if you can kindly make the amendment that the children right and perform the suspected or suspectedly to desist, or else they risk their suspension being extended if these actions is repeated. If you can accept this simple amendment. No, those that are suspended, inform them that we take note that they are violating and to them that will come. They should desist or come around the program. If they come back, they will be eligible for extension of their suspension for additional 30 days. So, if we can accept.
Double jeopardy. Our police are already serving their suspension, and they are very much aware that they should not be seen anywhere around the perimeter of the capital, or they should desist from legislative activity or all legislative activities. So, in knowing that, it means that subsequently there will be an additional action. But for now, I want to still reject.
Honorable Presiding, distinguished colleagues, due to the statement from the crafter of said communication, Honorable James Colette, vesting the authority of expulsion, I would be ready to vote to the movement if you were to consider Article 49 of our Constitution and talk about the number 49 as majority to expel someone. I will be ready to vote if you can align your rule. He said so. Keep the communication man.
Let's give the police time. The movement is there. State of the readiness of the mobile, you got it through.
I'm ready to vote.
Thank you.
If the police command you to respect the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria and align with our rule, I'm ready to vote. Thank you.
The movement is still going to respond. Please respond.
The proponent read Rule 48, and in Rule 48.7, he stated a measure that can be taken. The now stating a communication that this is what the primary about to do. Both of that, precedent states that before, therefore, as you get.
Honorable distinguished colleagues, to the movement, I will be ready to formally accept this procedure as an amendment. Given the fact that some of the police are bringing out the technicality of whether the absences are consecutive or not, I will be ready to vote if we can allow this amendment wherein the office of the chief executive state in the communication of the going to consecutively or not. And this will be spelled out clearly if so is it.
The honorable gentleman from Nima County, the secretary is called with my authority to keep records of this house, and they do all the communication from this house. So I need them know, and they are also aware of how to do the communication. So besides that, the rule is clear when it comes to the number of days, and you heard the secretary listing the days. There are people who are days more than 11 days. But the secretary did not mention those days, but rather they were particular about the one let's say within a specified week. So based upon that, so rejected.
Steve Tupac. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Co-Presiding, and distinguished colleagues, I will be ready to vote if Honorable O.P. Cooper and Honorable Musa Hassan Bedere be excluded. Because in recent time, Musa was in section. O.P. Cooper was also in session just last week. And our rule says consistent absentees. I so submit, Honorable President.
Again, the secretary is flawed with the responsibility of taking records here. Their record has shown the number of persons, so it means there has no reject.
All right.
Presiding to the moment, I will be ready to vote if you accept my amendment that due to the issue that talked about consistency, that the communication which go out for decision to be taken on Thursday of this week, that said decision be taken on next week, Tuesday for those that may not come. Taking the consideration from last Tuesday to this Tuesday is 1 week, to next Tuesday will be 2 weeks. So that will be a complete completion of the 2 weeks in row. And also for the portion that talk about the communication going to them, it should be spelled out with the number of days that each of them has missing section in row 4 under the second sitting of the 55th. Mr. Movement, if you do accept what one council graciously be happy with you.
In the wisdom of the doyen of the house,
Was they accepted? If they accepted distinguished colleagues, are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion made by Honorable, please raise your right hand. All those against. Slow landing is not going. Those abstaining. Please announce the result.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable President, Honorable ladies and gentlemen, there are 26 for, none against, no abstention.
We're 26 for, 1 against, the motion is carried. Chief Judge, please act accordingly. Thank you. Motion for adjournment.
say thank you so much. My name is Yasa Suba. I've been here bringing forth this live broadcast live from the executive pavilion. However, this is how let it put in a closure. So the speaker, Richie Namekon, presides there over the section today, but however, he had an engagement, so he left sooner, and the deputy speaker took over. That's Thomas Kada. So however, the motion has been adjourned, and this is how we like to call your day. So do have yourself a pleasant time wherever you join us from. My name is Yasa Suba. I've been here providing this live coverage. Until then, have a nice day wherever you are.